So we still don't know the etiology for bladder pain syndrome in schistocystitis. One possible etiology might be the stressful events early in life, eventually sexual abuse. And to test this hypothesis, there is a model, which is the maternal deprivation model, in which the pups are separated from mothers and littermates between day 2 until day 15 for 1 hour, and then the tests are made at many months after, usually 5 months after the initial separation. So in this case, the objective was to investigate if the TRPV1 knockout pups would have the same behavior or not of the wild-type pups. Although the stressful event and the moment of the experiments were separated by 5 months, clearly there was a difference in the amount of norepinephrine in the bladder tissue, much higher in animals subjected to maternal deprivation, and this difference is quite evident. In terms of mechanical pain threshold, using the von Frey filaments, we observed that the animals that suffered maternal deprivation had much lower threshold to mechanical pain in the abdomen, so indicating hyperalgesia. And in terms of systometry, the number of bladder contractions were substantially increased. Also, in the urothelium, it was possible to see some areas of denudation that we could not exactly interpret it. We are not saying that they are annulus lesions because clearly there was no inflammation around. What happened to the TRPV1 knockout pups? The situation is totally different. There is no hyperalgesia. Actually, the animals, the pups that had maternal deprivation had higher mechanical pain thresholds, so they had less pain than the controls. And in terms of systometries, although the difference was not significant, and the systometry is exactly the same. So in these TRPV1 knockout mice, deprivation did not demonstrate any change in terms of hyperalgesia or bladder function. So the conclusions are that maternal deprivation model induces long-term modifications in terms of hyperalgesia, in terms of abdominal pain, which might indicate hyperalgesia. It causes a long-term change in the frequency of voiding contractions. These changes are not observed in TRPV1 knockout mice. We think it is a good model to test the possibility of stressful events in early in life in terms of the origin of chronic pain later in adult life, and clearly indicates that TRPV1 receptors are involved and might be a good reason to develop them in terms of future treatment for these patients. Thank you very much.
Pradeep Tyagi, University of Pittsburgh. I think I missed the connection between maternal deprivation and TRPV1. What was the hypothesis you connected those two elements?
We tested the maternal deprivation model in TRPV1 knockout mice, like we tested the maternal deprivation model in wild-type mice. So just to see if the absence of TRPV1 would change hyperalgesia and increase frequency of bladder contractions that we saw in wild-type mice.
Yes, I saw that your data shows that maternal deprivation increases the noradrenaline or stress response.
It increases stress response, yeah. Although the bladders were collected 156 days after the stressful event, which indicates that a stressful event in infancy might have strong consequences in terms of bladder function, at least in these animals.
So this is very interesting. Thank you.
Thank
Now
you.
the time is out.